Hello, Weekend Warriors. Welcome back to the workshop. As a matter of fact, welcome me back to the workshop. It's my first time back in for over a month. They finally decided that my shoulders weren't working right, and one of them had to get fixed. So off I went to the hospital and got my shoulder fixed, and then I wasn't allowed in my workshop for over a month. So it's nice to be back in here. Today's project, it's going to be a real quick thing. Something I realized as I was getting back in here and setting up cameras is, one, I had more cameras than I had tripods, and two, I had no way to fix the cameras, the new cameras, to tripods anyway. So I wanted something that I could steer around and move about, and what I came up with was golf ball joints. Who would have thought golf balls would work great in a ball joint? So hang on just a second. Let me go grab the other camera or get the other camera view here, and I'll show you what we're going to make. Hang on. Well, here it is. There's my golf ball joint. And as you see, it's got two golf balls, two pieces of wood. My camera mount is mounted to one of the golf balls, and I can move it in any old direction I want. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to build one of these today. And to top it off, we're going to build it using nothing but my Shopsmith. We're not going to use any of the external drill presses, my radial arm saw, my standalone band saws, none of that. We're not going to use any hand tools this time, though you can make this with hand tools. I'm just going to kind of show off what a Shopsmith can do. And for a small shop with limited space and limited money, a used one that you can get off Craigslist is a great investment and doesn't take up a lot of room, and it has lots of capability. So y'all hang on and we'll get started on that. Okay, first thing we're going to do is we're going to work with the table saw function on the Shopsmith. And we're going to take our 1/2 inch stock and we're going to bring the width down to 2.5 inches. Our ball joint sides are 2.5 by 5 inches long. So one piece should be enough, but I'm going to make multiples, so I have them. So I want to make sure I've got my push stick. Now remember, I've got the guards pulled off this so you can see what I'm doing. The original guard that came with it was pretty dangerous, so I got rid of that, and I've been making my own guards to go with it. But when they're in place, you can't see anything happening. So I've just got to be careful. Okay, so you can see on a Shopsmith, though the table is a little bit small, it still works as a good table saw. Now, from here, we want to go to the extra special bandsaw function. I happen to have the bandsaw attachment for this, so why not use it? Hang on just a second, and I'll get that set up. All right, so I've set up the speed on my Shopsmith to accommodate the bandsaw. I've taken templates, as you can see, and these are SketchUp templates, and they'll be available on the website as soon as I'm done with this video. And so now it's just a matter of turning it on and cutting it out. It would probably help if I adjusted the height on my bandsaw also. Okay, so now we got two sides cut out. Now we need to drill them out. And you see the templates give us the centers for all the drilling, so we can go ahead and do that too. And as a matter of fact, the drilling phase is the last setup we need to do with the Shopsmith. So this is kind of, planning it out properly. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the bandsaw off and reconfigure in the Shopsmith into a drill press. I'll be right back. Okay, now at this point on most Shopsmith models, there's a quick release lever on the side that you release and then tilt the thing up. Now I've done a little modification to mine where I've got two of the same ends on it, so I don't have that quick release. That's because I like to work the motor head one way or the other, so I like to be able to go both ways. So I've created a pin. So for mine, as soon as I get hold of the pin, tilting is that easy. And then to lock it in place so now it doesn't fall down on you. So now it's a matter of bringing it up. I've got to do this one arm. Now that we're set up as a drill press, we have 3 drilling operations to do. We need to drill the big holes, the center holes, and then we got to drill out the golf balls to accept the posts that are going to make them useful. So, we'll start with the big holes, and for that we're going to need a chuck, which, like everything else on the Shopsmith, slips onto the 5/8 arbor. And then we got to set the drilling speed, so we want to slow this thing down. There we go. Now we're ready to drill some holes. Let me make sure I'm not blocking the view here. Okay. Now, working with a Forstner bit, I like cutting most of the way through until you can see the hole coming out the other side. Then I switch it over and capture that hole. And it makes it nice and smooth on both sides. There we go. Nice clean cuts all the way through there. All right, now let's get the 1/4-inch hole in the middle there. Let's see. My chuck key. Quarter-inch Forstner bit. Okay, so the sides are done. Now I can even do a peel off here and reuse the template on the other piece that I cut. All right, now we got to drill the golf balls out. And so I think I got a 3/4 for that one. Now you don't have to drill the golf ball out. What I did on some of them is, well, let me find one here. Here we go. On some of them, oh, I glued it in place. On some of them, what I did is I took a deck screw and I screwed it down into the middle, cut the head off, then drilled a small 1/8-inch hole into the golf ball, screwed it in place, and glued it down. So you don't necessarily have to drill a big old hole in the golf ball. But this time I'm going to. And don't worry, I'm not using good golf balls, no Schlesingers, no top flights. These are some very old Wilsons that I think my mother-in-law found out at the golf course one day. So let's see here. There we go. I got a nice spot laid out on this one for doing this. So now it's just a matter of squaring it up in there. There we go. Have to be super deep. 1/4 to a 1/2 inch will work for you fine. I remember when I was a kid, you open a golf ball and it would burst into rubber bands. Nowadays they've got these great synthetic interiors in them. There we go. Oh, real nice. How about this side? Oh, nice and snug. Okay. All right, so that's it for the drilling. So now we have some routing to do. Well, the great thing about the Shopsmith is it's already configured to be a router. So I'll pull the chuck off. And I will put a router chuck on. So I need to adjust the table height. And then the table position. And I'm not actually going to go that far down into the table. I just wanted to make sure that the bearing would clear. So I want it to go that far down, and I want to make sure I'm doing it on the right side. So there we go, and I can lock it in place. So now my router depth is set. Now I just have to bring it up to router speeds. And there we go, nice little recess that golf ball is going to fit right down into. So now it's just a matter of wash, rinse, repeat. Well, it looks like I didn't pay close enough attention to my camera, and I ran out of camera before I was done. What I proceeded to do is I took a 1/4 inch round over and put it in, set up the height, and went ahead and rounded over all my corners. Okay, here we are, and we've got all our pieces together now. We got our sides. I got about a 3-inch carriage bolt, and I'm just going to put that in there, and I'm going to set it into place. There we go. So now the carriage bolt's in place. It's not going to go anywhere. Our golf balls, we want to glue our posts in place, and for that, we're just going to use a little bit of hot glue. So we'll go ahead and put it on the end here and push that down inside, making sure we push that down inside. And in just a second, that's not going to go anywhere. Do the same thing over on this side. Okay, so much for the glue. Now it's just a matter of getting them into place. Okay, and that's it. We now have a perfectly serviceable ball joint. I can attach whatever I want at either end of the stick, whether it be another ball to just make a string of ball joints, or a platform for mounting cameras, or whatever I want to do. I've got a joint that allows me to do 365-degree rotations. So that was the whole point of the video, and we did it. So I've got another one coming. We started a while back with the screen stretcher. Well, now we're going to build the screen stretcher, and you'll get to see a few more techniques, a little bit more on the Shopsmith. And yeah, so until that happens, you all keep up the good fight, and I'll see you next time. Bye.